we're gonna get started right away. Hello and welcome to another Warcraft the audio commentary. Today we're watching the ifeng Cup / Pheonix Cup best of 3 match between WFZ and Yumiko. This was released as part of like a replay pack. Like, they haven't released any individual replays, I don't think, for like a week or 2 weeks, I think. And so they just dumped like this big pack like today or yesterday. So there's like a lot of good replays in there. So we might watch some more of those. But I've heard really good things about one of the games in this matchup. I'm not going to say which one, but I've heard really, really good things about it. So we're going to watch the games, and hopefully we're going to like it. Also, this game and all the consequent games, sure, that's not English, but it doesn't matter, are being streamed at twitch.tv/PureBeat live, so feel free to go check them out. Now, they're not live games, we're watching the replays, but they're being streamed, and then they'll go on YouTube. Anyway, so that's that. Let's introduce our players. We do have WFZ spawning in as the Red Undead in the upper left. This map is obviously Twisted Meadows. His opponent, Yumiko, spawning in as the Grey Human in the upper right. Let's look at these hero choices. We do have the Death Knight and the Archmage. Pretty standard stuff. The Archmage coming out just as the barracks finishes. So he's going to bring like 6 of these militia bad boys. Maybe 5? 6, I think, normally. Yeah, there's 6, right? 1, 2, 3? Yeah, 6. And though, of course, the Water Elemental. He's going to start the tanking business here. Going to go... It's very hard to creep this if you don't know how to do it, but if you watch what happens very carefully, you can see you attack with the Water Elemental. You got to have the positioning right, and then you send a couple guys over here to the Mud Golem. Normally, Yumiko doesn't lose a peasant creeping this, but it happens every now and then. It's not easy. If you think it's easy, try it. It's actually really hard. But if you know how you do it, then it's not terrible. It's still a little hard. Over here we can see that Mr. WFZ, one of my favorite undead players, by the way. I mean, I love this guy. Look at this, he's getting backpack, which you don't see too much. I mean, you see it now and then, but you don't see it too much. But yeah, he's gonna come in here, get a harass, definitely gonna get a kill on that peasant. That's 2 peasants down, or 2, yeah. That's 2 peasants down, 1 for WFZ. You will get at least 1 more, probably 2, maybe even 3. There's the second one, or the third in all. And looks like, is there an arcane tower up yet? Not yet. Oh, it's just beginning to upgrade, in fact, so there's a decent chance that WFZ will get 1 more Mr. Peasant, which would be really unfortunate for Yumiko, because he needs all the wood he can get, because he does want to do a fast expansion. He might go for the fast tech if he feels like he's not safe, but you need a lot of wood in the early game if you want to go for that expansion. And it's Twisted Meadow, so it's a really good map for it, and especially because it's tier 2. Even you make a lot of extra peasants right off the bat. That gives you the wood for the expansion, and then you convert 5 of those into peasants mining gold. Now you're gonna lose some of them because you're gonna get harassed, so maybe make like 4, maybe 5 extra peasants in the early game, and then you pick up a goblin shredder, because you're not gonna have a ton of peasants for wood by the time your expansion finishes, but it works pretty well if you get a shredder, and this is a great map to get a shredder because there's literally 4 places you can do it. Here we're gonna see Archmage did pick up Boots of Speed. I don't know, that might have been a drop from this. I wasn't paying nearly enough attention to the items, that's my bad. But that did happen. Over here we can see, of course, WFZ's just kind of scouting around saying, is there a farm being built over there? Is there a peasant I can try to kill? No, so I'm just going to take some free hits and run away. He did kill his sheep with his acolyte. He's got his acolyte down here. Of course, you can see some nice little sponsor advertising. I don't know what it says, but looks good. And it looks like he might even want to go for the creep right now. Yes, indeed, he's bringing in 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 militia. Of course, we do have WFZ coming in here with 2 skeletons out. He does have a skeleton rod and another one on his Crypt Fiend, so that's 4 more charges on the Crypt Fiend, or a total of 5 skeleton rod charges for this creep. As well as that Fiend, he's going to do a lot of damage during this for sure when you have that many charges. Here we're going to see him stealing the Ogre with a coil. Always good to deny the experience going to your opponent as well as picking it up for yourself. You really don't want this guy hitting level 3. It's really hard to stop it on this map, but oh, look at that. Great steal on that experience. Didn't get the item. What a great item though. A Pendant of Energy. That's an item that we might see Yumiko sell, because he doesn't necessarily need it as a human player. Depending on his strategy that he goes, he might keep it. If he goes for the fast level 5 Archmage, he might pass it over to like the Mountain King or something, or even the Paladin. It's not a bad choice. may sell it later in the game. Might keep it, who knows. A lot of options, but it's really good that the Death Knight didn't manage to pick that up because he would have really liked that item. And over here we're going to see Yumiko. He's got the tower going up pretty much at the same time as the town hall. Pretty standard stuff right there. And he's got a couple of skeleton warriors trying to get a peasant kill. He might actually be able to do it. It's going to duck into the gold mine, but the Death Knight's coming in here, going to summon another charge of skeletons, and he's just going to let that get denied by Footman. Of course, he had some nice little skeletons running over there to try to kill. We will see the Death Knight attempting to get surrounded by those Footmen. Not going to quite happen. He will move out quite nimbly, doing a little bit of damage to the Arcane Tower, trying to take it down before it goes up, but it gets repaired. It also, you know, delays the time that the Town Hall takes to finish being built, so that's kind of all around good for WFZ. We'll do see Defend being researched and utilized by these Footmen right here. Yumiko's Archmage not level 3. This is really good play by WFZ, like really good play. It's hard, it's very hard to deny level 3 on that Archmage, but he managed to do it. Got the good steals on those creeps. And will we see another peasant go down? It might. Ooh, looks like those weren't microed. Oh, it's gonna be close, but no, the peasant does go down. Just one hit away from that skeleton dying. Over here we can see, of course, the Lich has come out, and we can finally check the bases. Tier 2 for Mr. WFZ. A little bit of a late Tier 2, really. He's might potentially invest in some meat wagons, possibly. I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. Archmage for Yumiko trying to get level 3 right here from the screen cam. Picks it up. Really important for defending this push to have level 3. Gives you level 2 water elementals, which are really a lot better than level 1. Of course, we're going to see these Footmen. Well, at least one's going to die to that Frost Nova, which could have been worse, but not bad. And he's going to get the experience for stealing that. The Death Knight's not level 3, but he's getting pretty close. And that's something that Yumiko really doesn't want him to have for this push, is level 3. If you get level 3 on your Death Knight, at this point you can just start spam nuking the Archmage, and it's really hard to deal with. But over here we can see that there's actually a militia coming over here with 2 skeleton warriors. Really good timing by WFZ. There is that Goblin Shredder. Will it go down? Looks like it's going to live. And this is a good spot for it because he can get a lot of close wood really close to that Town Hall. You can see, I guess you could have done it there too because there's the lumber mill. You can kind of use this defensively as well though, so it's got benefits both places, I guess. I don't know. A little bit riskier running down this way, but it's worked out fine for him, despite, you know, taking over half his life in laser damage. But that's okay, it happens. Over here we can see the Footman now running away, trying to reinforce. A lot of this is trying to delay. You know, just say, okay, I know that eventually my tech's gonna kick in, which he hasn't begun teching yet. Okay. I don't know. Is he gonna tech down here, maybe? He might tech down here. Sometimes you'll see them do that when it's close spawn or something. Tech at the opposite place, so it's a little bit safer. It's a little bit easier, right, to get here for the undead than it is down there at his expansion location. But we can see Yumiko investing pretty heavily in defense, static defense here, towers, which absolutely suck against fiends if they're not built. Once they're built, they're a lot better, but getting them built really hard because they take a lot of extra damage from the piercing attacks while they're being building because they have unarmored armor type. Of course, that does change pretty much immediately as soon as they're built to get the heavy, which is nice. It's decent enough, right? It's not quite as good as fortified, but it's still pretty good. Of course, we're going to see the defended footmen's here, plus level 2 water elementals. There's a bunch of them now, and there's some militia, and of course the level 3 archmage. The pendant of energy has been pretty useful for him in the early game. Actually, it's giving him more water elementals. Of course, that is a double-edged sword. It's giving some additional experience over to the Death Knight, but Yumiko really at this point just doesn't need to buy time because he's just kind of far behind in tech. Of course, there's a lot of fiends as well, and they are upgraded pretty well. 2-0 attack upgrades, no upgrades on the footman. Not what you wouldn't expect there to be upgrades on the footman though, generally. But that might be something we one day start seeing, is early upgrades on the footman to kind of combat the early upgrades on the fiends. Probably won't ever do that because, frankly, footmen aren't that great against the heroes. Plus, you get like skeleton rods and stuff that are also fairly good against footmen's. But who knows? Anyway. So that fight has gone pretty well for WFZ, which is what was expected, right? You expect him to win the fight. This fight that Yumiko was taking there wasn't to win or to do a lot of damage, it was to buy time. And over here, that's why you're seeing him run past the undead army, run to the undead base. He's trying to bring him over. He's trying to say, don't run to my base, come over here. And he's kind of running out of his base at this point. That move I don't quite really understand. because he knows where this army is. I'm not sure what he's trying to do there. But we'll see Yumiko actually deciding to put the keep up right there, not down here. So, interesting call. Building a little bit of a farm block to kind of protect these towers a little bit. Makes it a lot harder for the undead player to actually run in and hurt the peasants and the peons down here. That's why you got the blacksmith right here. It's just kind of building like walls and stuff. Makes it hard to get really good positioning with fiends. Or at least you can do it, but you end up in like a tight ball that basically the human can kind of like get behind you and surround you, and one side you have towers, the other side you got a bunch of defended footmen. You want to be able to kite those, you don't really want to just be taking hits from them. But we actually saw a building go down right there. I think that was a slaughterhouse. It was indeed slaughterhouse. We're seeing that being rebuilt in the back. This is a tier 2 undead. He's committing very heavily to this. This we saw a lot of about a month and a half ago. We probably still see a lot of it currently because it's really a good strategy. It changed a lot about the way this matchup is played, I think. When you start seeing these super heavy tier 2 undead based strategies with these towers in the back. Because normally you think towers aren't that good against defended footmen. So, you know, humans would just kind of ignore the base. They would just run and kill the acolytes in the gold mine, and the towers wouldn't stop. But basically, change up the way that you think about it. Don't get Nerubians make spirit towers. They're expensive, but they're pretty good actually. So what's going on over there? Here we can see kind of the same thing happening in both bases. Although I would say WFC getting the slightly upper edge in terms of the amount of damage done. But when you consider that Yumiko has an expansion running, and he's only crippling 1 economy out of the 2, and here we're seeing 1 economy crippled out of the 1. It's definitely better gain overall for Yumiko. Although he's doing a really good job microing these acolytes and stuff, this is also very hard to do, to not just lose every unit you have here while microing at your army at a different location. Of course, both players have it very difficult here. You gotta be very careful when you're fighting against this many towers, especially with your Archmage. But we will just see all kinds of micro going on. It's a lot of damage being done to the Haunted Gold Mine, actually, but also this keep is taking a lot of damage as well. We're going to see an Arcane Sanctum going down. If you can get your tech down, even if you lose your keep, it's not the end of the world, right? Because you can just build some casters and retech right here. He would have been a lot better off if he did actually put the keep there, but maybe WFC would have hit the keep either way. Maybe he was being smart about that. I don't know. Either way, this is starting to lose some pressure, or some power, some oomph in Yumiko's push right here, because there's all these, most of the footmen are dead, all the acolytes are back up or alive at this point. Yumiko is very quickly running out of steam, and in fact, he's actually just going to say GG, because he only had 1 base, and it wasn't teched up. And he didn't have Arcane Sanctums out, didn't really have very strong economy anymore, and he just didn't do as much damage as he needed to. But he couldn't really go fight either, because he just took so long to start his tier 2 tech, and he invested so heavily in towers early on. I feel like it was a bad read by Yumiko. I don't think he was expecting the tier 2 fiend push. I think, yeah, I'm trying to think of what he could have done better there, but it's kind of hard to find words for that. He just played really, really well. If you know that's coming, you can get a pronounced. This is why I don't look at chat. If you know it's coming, then you can actually go ahead and tech up a little bit earlier, because you know there's like a window where you're not gonna have to worry about too much damage, and then put up your towers, which is not what we saw. Oh well, that's okay. That happens. We're gonna go into game 2. So if you're watching on YouTube, there hopefully is an annotation you can click to take you there, and if you're on stream, well, we'll be right back after about a minute. So I'm going to take a minute break, and then we'll be into game 2. See you there.